Trend's 7 pillars of change. Together, we are creating an inclusive and accessible world-class education system for all Jamaicans. We are transforming education for national development for a brighter tomorrow. Together, we will get education trending.
Thanks for staying with us here on Sunrise. Well, as we continue our special coverage of National Education Week, where we celebrate the transformative power of education with the Ministry of Education and Youth, along with the National Education Trust, today we're discussing the key aspects of their ongoing transformation project. Joining us this morning to tell us more is the Permanent Secretary with the Ministry of Education and Youth, Dr. Kasan Troupe. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here and to see you, Dennis, my former co-worker.
Yes.
We taught together at the Queen's School.
Yeah, we taught when she was a guidance counselor before going on and becoming a principal.
Yes.
And then a senior person within the education ministry.
Yes.
Always a pleasure talking to
Always.
you.
But you know what I love about that tidbit is that means that you are truly passionate about education.
I am.
So your role within the ministry is not just say a nice work here, but no, this is actually something that means a lot to you.
It means a lot to
so
me.
the transformation is important.
Very important. And I see my own life as an example of what education can do for the social and economic transformation of a life. And that's what the transformation is about. We are finally making the connection between education and national development. And I like the fact that we are using trend because it came from the young people. It is the children that we spoke to say, we need to be relatable. We need to feel like education is for us and about us. And that's where trend came from. And what was most important about that conversation is that they got the connection. It is about us being ready to develop our country. And that's what transformation hopes to achieve. We must put the machinery in place to get our human resource, which is the capital to drive transformation in our country. The education system has that big responsibility, and that's what we are working towards.
You know, when we look at transformation of public institutions or public structures, we always have in mind a desired end state. What's the desired end state of the Jamaican education system when you discuss transformation now?
So the ultimate is really to achieve our 2030 vision.
Right.
We want Jamaica to be a place of choice, to live, to do businesses, to raise families. That's the ultimate.
Right.
But to get there, we have to move with improvements in our performance. Our students need to give us, or we need to be satisfied that the outputs and the outcomes will lead us to the vision that we want for this country. Right now, we are not there. I can tell you that the latest data set tells us that we have 31% of our students leaving our high schools with 5 or more CXCs, including math and English. That's unacceptable. That's not something as a country we can sit and just be proud of. We have to put the work in, and that's what the program over these 8 years that we're working on will try to achieve. We want to move that 31% to a minimum of 80%, because we know as educators you will have special education needs, and so in the normal scheme of things, you won't have everybody performing at the same level. But for those students who need special support, we want them to be maximized as well. So that's the end game. We want our high school, our primary high school system to be exiting students who are ready for higher learning and ready for the world of work. We want to focus on holistic development too. It's not just about the academics. It's about who you are as a person. It's about your values, your attitude, your commitment to nation building. So our program of learning must speak to that. So our health and family life education program, we have spent significant sums of money investing in the design of that program, the development of that program, and the implementation of that program. Our school-wide behavior management program that we call SWP-based, that's another part of the behavior management framework. So it's about the academics, it's about the roundedness of the students, and to drive that leadership.
But you're telling us about some programs that you hear people on the road say the education system needs to do, but you're doing these things.
Yeah, it's a lot, and part of the challenge of transformation is to get the message out.
That's
Yes.
right. That's
Many
right.
persons really don't know what we do and how much we do. But the interest is there, and as a ministry, we have to respond to that. So, for example, for behavior change, we have guidance counselors, we have deans of discipline, we have health and family life educators, and we have our health professionals in our schools. Annually, Dennis, we expend approximately $6 billion driving that infrastructure, putting in the bodies to support the holistic development of our students. And that does not include our partners. We have UNICEF, UNESCO, we have IDB, we have DBJ, we have all those organizations that they come to us and they fund our programs and they train our teachers and they are with us. We talk about just UNICEF, who's always there with us, always just putting in programs, helping us to build out our learning platforms. Right now, they're moving with the Jamaica Learning Passport. We're developing that platform that is going to support literacy and numeracy at the primary level. That's just a partnership. And of course, we have our own net, right, which is a part of their activity this week is to celebrate education, and they're our agency set up to mobilize resources because the government cannot do it alone.
Dr. Troupe, I've always been conflicted, because, I mean, as somebody who's grown up outside of Jamaica and experienced education system elsewhere, I always had the specter of being sent back to Jamaica to get a proper education looming over my head. You're not behaving, we're going to send you back to Jamaica to go to real school to get real education. Living in Jamaica, you get the impression that, oh, the education system is not good and you want to go to foreign to get real education. Clearly, we produce excellent scholars who have gone abroad and done amazing. How do we make the most of this traditional concept of our education system being top-notch, but yet still acknowledging the fault lines that you've...
Yes. Well, we do, and I want to put it out there, we do have an excellent model. Our model of education compares internationally. All the programs, all the infrastructure, the architecture that you look at to define a good program, the level of investment from a government, we are right there and even above our Caribbean partners in terms of the financial input into education. This year alone, this government, through the Ministry of Education, will be expending $162 billion in education. $2 billion of that will be focused on infrastructure improvement in our schools. And that is significant. In fact, we get the largest chunk of the budget, which is a demonstration of how important education is. Do we get the best from it? No.
But this is my question. So this is what I want to ask Doc, right? Because the investment is there. I hear about the programs being implemented, but from what we are seeing, there still seems to be a gap. A gap where, how do we connect with the children and actually help to elevate them? How do we increase numeracy and literacy? So the investment is being made, but somehow we're not bridging a gap and we're still losing quite a few. What do we do there? Is it the type of teaching that we're doing? Do we need to put in, okay, yes, I know that there's STEM, but do we need to put in a STEAM where there's more emphasis on the arts based on who we are as a culture? Is it that we need to have more vocational programs and, give people options and opportunities that are looked at in the same way that we look at all professions or other professions and not look down on vocational institutions? What do we do to elevate so that at the level where everyone is, like the Dennis referred to, where we have fantastic education on one hand, but then on the other we're losing kids. How do we bridge that gap?
I think, Yendi, you have touched all of the areas because there are many moving parts in education. So we talk about the preparation of our teachers for one. That's going to be very important. Our students know they demand a different approach. So gone are the days when as teachers we were the life of the classroom. We are the sage on stage, right? No, our students want to lead their learning. We have to focus on the agency in the child. Now, as teachers, we have to unlearn some things. First of all, our own experience as students that we bring to the learning process. We have to unlearn all of that and be ready to experiment and to make mistakes and to allow the students to lead. We are focused a lot on content, but now is the knowledge age. The students can Google that, they can ask ChatGPT that. Now we want to focus on the skills. What do you think about this piece of work produced by ChatGPT? Criticize this, analyze this. We want to put them in the groups for them to communicate, to innovate, and to design, think, to problem find, and to problem solve. No, it's a lot of unpacking for the teacher to be prepared to do that because of the teacher's own experience as a student and how the teacher is prepared to teach. So we have to go back to preparatory work. Then we have the teachers who are in service, that we also have to train and to retool, and that's ongoing, right? So that's part of it. We have to also provide the tools.
Absolutely.
Right? As leaders in our schools, it must be non-negotiable, whatever else is happening, that your teachers have the resources to do the work.
Absolutely.
And that's part of it. We have to focus on the classroom areas. We have to focus on the children in front of us, and we have to excite learning.
That part.
They are ready.
Yes.
And as the ministry, we have some support programs to put in place as well. So
have to
come
talk about
next
that
year,
some more.
for the new year, you should hear a lot more about the initiatives for literacy, for numeracy, for behavior change, yes,
What I
and
love is
for
the excitement
technology.
around
Yes,
it. I'm
yes,
feeling
yes.
your excitement
Yeah,
around it,
definitely.
so that's exciting.
Absolutely. Our guest has been Dr. Kasan Troupe, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education and Youth. Well, on the other side of the break, it's Sunrise Picnic Corner. We'll be exploring the powerful role of music in child development. Stay with us.
Creating an inclusive and accessible world-class education system for all Jamaicans. We are transforming education for national development for a brighter tomorrow. Together, we will get education trending.